Today, Rubio announced that he would be running for his Senate seat this year, or, for the remainder of this year, rather. And, you know, it's so funny because last month, in just reading his tweets, he seemed very, very frustrated with, just everything everyone had been saying about him since he had ended his presidential campaign 2 months prior. And with that, keeping that in mind, I figured, oh, he's serious. He's really not going to get back into this. It's over. Boy, was I wrong, because it came out this morning. He's back. And, I have no personal dislike. I actually like him. I like him as a person. He seems like an okay guy. Uh, just in his policies, I disagree with him on social issues, but overall, he just seems okay or good. I don't have really some ridiculous standard. Um, Really, anyone with, in my view, a general interest in the country's best, just best heart or whatever, or their best position, I'm fine with. So I think he's definitely someone that can retain his Senate seat for the GOP, which is mainly what they were trying to convey to him, that if you don't run for this seat, we could seriously lose this and lose another seat, which would possibly lead us to being overtaken by Democrats in 2 years once more. Now, realistically, or just kind of what is something I thought was worth noting, was that back in, I think April, I found out that the deadline was June 24th, and as we kind of neared that, oh, he's not going to announce. That'd be crazy. And say, yeah, he's definitely not going to announce. It's over. It was a nice, enjoyable 6 years. And then he announced 2 days right before. It just seems so last minute, but at the same time, I mean, I'm just so surprised by it, because I would expect him to have done it by now. And since he didn't, I was blown away. Whoa. Now I'm trying to figure out what this entails for the other Republicans that are trying to run for the seat, whether they all get out or they fight to the bitter end or anything of that nature. He said one of them was his friend. I can't recall the name of the person at this point. And I hope that friend gets out, because friendships have been lost over politics. Make no mistake about it. And that oftentimes is applicable to people who aren't even running for office, which is not the case here, but still. So I'm hoping the other guy gets out, because it's always good to keep a friend, even if you don't agree on some things or you both want the same position, vying for the same job. So the other thing about this is that it increases talks of a potential 2020 presidential run for him. We know he's going to run. I'd be so shocked if he didn't. And, if he wants to, that's fine. If he chooses to opt out, which I very, very, very much doubt. In fact, I'd predict that 4 years to today, June 22nd, 2020, he'll be in the race. I just don't see him opting out. He would have to just go crazy, because he has a lot of potential, um, and it's very feasible that he could do it. Moderates tend to do well oftentimes. Don't quote me on that, but there have been instances where a person who's kind of in the middle can get the support to win not just the nomination but the general election. And I think he was mainly just bothered by Trump's celebrity. Now, apart from that, I think he could, with Trump seemingly being out of the way after this, I could see him mounting a successful bid. But again, his problem is the same as Cruz, in that they have to look appealing to the people of their own state. Now, Cruz didn't have as much of an issue because he won his home state, but Rubio losing Florida should tell him, I've got to do some damage control over these next 4 years. And I think the responding to the Orlando thing was a good example of him trying to make that difference or change in his just kind of demeanor, or appearance rather, public persona, however you would say. But he really has to make sure that when he gets this seat, gets elected to this seat again, which he will, I very much, it would be the biggest shock ever if someone beats him. So when he gets elected to the seat again, he has to spend the next 4 years doing some damage control. because nothing is worse than having your product ruined by a few negative perceptions, which was enough to send Trump over the top by multi digits. So I hope he's able to do that. I'm glad he's running again. He's a nice guy. Uh, got positions I can get behind. Comprehensive plan on immigration, just all of that. So I'm very I'm satisfied. Thank you for watching and have a good day.